Are the San Francisco 49ers still a Super Bowl caliber team without Trey Lance? With Jimmy Garoppolo in the mix, we're going to talk about all those different types of things. We're going to break it down and see what the differentiating factors are in regards to what makes this team potentially still having the Super Bowl window open. Let me know in the chat if you think this is a Super Bowl window, and you already know as well. Drop an SDS in the chat if you're vibing with your boy. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to see it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get this thing rocking. It's good to see all the SDS in here per usual. It's been a fun week for me. I'm not going to lie. 49ers offense got through the tape last night. 49ers offensive line looks like pretty damn good. All the concerns about the guard position, whether it was Aaron Banks, Spencer Burford, Mike McGlinchey, Trent Williams, Jake Brendel, so far looking pretty damn good. So there's still plenty of room for improvement for everyone on that offensive line. But just like we talked about last week, relax a little bit, give these guys some time to get everything working together, gel. There's potential here. We just have to give them the opportunity to meet it. Obviously, the burning questions still, whether it's national media, local, Twitter hole, watering hole, whatever you want to call it, still talking about the 49ers quarterback position. So we spoke on this a little bit yesterday, but I figured we could kind of dive into it from a little bit bigger and more of a kind of fresh start in regards to thinking if the San Francisco 49ers still have a window open to be able to potentially push for a Super Bowl, because obviously the San Francisco 49ers, along with the Bills, were favorites amongst national media, fans. We really felt like there was a momentum before the season started where the 49ers had an opportunity to really make a push this season for a Super Bowl run. Is that window still open? We're going to figure it out. Shout out Tony hopping into the SDS squad. Let's go. Shout out Tony. Welcome Tony to as the official member of the SDS. And we got the homie in here. Good to see DJ back in the fold. And you already know what to do. Listen to DJ and smash that like button. Let's get this video to the moon, because I think we're going to be pretty happy with what we talked about, or what we're going to talk about for sure. We even got detail in the mix. Let's go. What's good to all the squad? Before we get into the main points, the main topics, I saw something today that made me very happy. Made me very, very happy, and got to shout out my guy over there who works for NFL Social, because nice little surprise for today. We went viral. We went viral with I don't know if you guys saw the clip yesterday that I had kind of posted to everywhere. It is Brandon Ayuk absolutely just, it's like a pancake, but he didn't touch Boye Mafe. Didn't touch him. But Boye Mafe landed on his face as a result. I watch a lot of football, and I key on wide receivers. I key on wide receivers blocking, all that type of stuff. This is rare, man. Like when you see a little pump fake that gets a defensive end onto the ground like this, like he was spooked, absolutely spooked them. But again, saw this last night, clipped it, threw it up, and shout out to the official NFL account for posting it on IG, Twitter. Wouldn't be surprised if it's on TikTok and Facebook as well. But shout out to all the homies over there at the NFL for tagging your boy. You love to see it. Look at the SF Niners, man. So inspirational. That's all of us. That's the SDS right there. You see that NFL logo, you see that blue check, and you see the HT, the SF Niners. That might as well say HT Sourdough Squad. Let's go. Love to see it. But Ayuk absolutely demolished Boye on that particular play. And it's phenomenal. Absolutely love it. Things that we love to see, put it into that box, put it into that category. Figured I'd show that. Of course, we're going to kind of get into some, let's get through some of the news notes that we've gotten so far today. Not a whole lot to talk about in that regard before we kind of get into our main topics. The 49ers did try out tight end Garrett Walston. This name may or may not be familiar because Garrett Walston did actually sign as an undrafted free agent out of North Carolina. He's a tight end. As we know, don't freak out. I don't think this has anything to do with George Kittle because, as we know, Tyler Kroft went down with the MCL injury and he's looking to miss a couple weeks. I also went back and I think I saw the play where Tyler Kroft got hurt and it was really early in the game and Tyler Kroft did not have a good game against the Seattle Seahawks. Again, just a reminder to me why the San Francisco 49ers put so much value into George Kittle and his blocking abilities. He was missed. He's always missed in the running game, especially because he does so much on the edges. He does so much in getting to second level and really popping those big runs. He was missed mightily after getting into that tape. So hopefully we get some good news tomorrow that we get George Kittle back practicing. But this particular move it's not a signing, it's just a workout. I believe they also worked out a wide receiver. So this, again, more likely in response to the injury to Tyler Kroft. So we'll see what plays out here specifically. I don't think a whole lot of anything else. I think we talked about it all. Were we? I think we were live. I think we were live for this. I think we were. Maybe not. If we weren't live, and of course, you know by now, the San Francisco 49ers look like they're going to be down Ty Davis Price and Tyler Kroft for a couple weeks. So I've been definitely pushing for it. I know Justin has been definitely pushing for it, but maybe finally we get to see the emergence of undrafted free agent phenom running back Jordan Mason. So hopefully we get to see Jordan Mason again. Always a bummer to see guys go down. TDP had a couple good runs on 14 carries against Seattle, so that's never something that you want to see. But I do think there is a very serviceable backup plan, and he goes by the name Jordan Mason. So I would imagine we get some Jordan Mason going. So we'll see. Dude just looks like a running back one in the NFL, if you ask me. So we'll see if we get Jordan Mason to show up. DJ saying 50 likes, getting there. Smash that like button. We should be able to get to 100 real quick. We got DJ. DJ, I forgot what it's like having you in the chat, helping us get these likes up. Let's go. So Jordan Mason should be able to fill in. Would imagine we're also going to get Marlon Mack to step in. So Marlon Mack is probably going to dress. The 49ers are likely going to sign another running back. Again, they worked out a whole bunch of guys last week, so I don't know if they're going to need to do that again. I'm seeing some moves announced right now on Twitter. Nothing in regards. Oh, here we go. Here we go. All right, so this is from 49ers Web Zone. Let me get this pulled up. So we talked about Walston. The 49ers also worked out former Panthers wide receiver Rashawn Henry, 6'3", 190 pounds, undrafted out of Virginia. I don't know much about Henry. Okay, so these are the quarterbacks that the 49ers worked out. Oh boy. The 49ers worked out again Kurt Benkert, AJ McCarron, Garrett Gilbert, and Kevin Hogan today. Wow, what a star-studded name of quarterbacks that the San Francisco 49ers had worked out. Of course, they're going to sign one of them. We understand with Trey Lance going down, likely going to IR. I don't know if he's officially been placed on IR yet or not. But obviously, there's another quarterback, Mike Glennon. Oh boy, Mike Glennon is going to work out for the San Francisco 49ers, the original long-necked quarterback. So one of these guys is going to get signed. Honestly, if I had to pick out of any of these four, just straight off of seeing these names, I'm probably going Mike Glennon. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Uh, he was a starter at one point in this league, 32 years old. Probably go Mike Glennon. Boy got a long neck. He's played on a ton of teams: Bears, Giants, Raiders, Jaguars, Arizona. I think he was drafted by Arizona. So, definitely going to see the 49ers sign a quarterback here. So those are the lists that we got. That's the list that we got. I would probably take Mike Glennon out of that crew. I don't know if AJ McCarron has played football. I thought AJ McCarron was like a SEC analyst for the last couple years. I didn't even know he was still had his hat in the ring for football. So going to be interesting to see what moves are made. Again, imagine a running back would come down. I've seen it reported that there are 3 open roster spots as of right now due to the injuries that have occurred. So, hey man, going to be interesting to see what move is made. Out of those quarterbacks that we listed, which one moves the needle the most for you guys? As I get this posted, which quarterback moves the needle the most, if any? Let me get this posted. All right. Did you guys see that the Arizona Cardinals also waived Andy Isabella? Ooh. I'd take him on the practice squad. See if there's anything in there. Let me get this posted. So a whole bunch of quarterbacks. All right, got it posted. Thank you for bearing with me. Let's see what the chat's talking about. What are we talking about in the SDS for quarterbacks? Mike Glennon, that like button, ladies and gentlemen. Our hero has arrived. The OG long neck quarterback is in the building. OG, triple OG. Long Neck Johnson, Mike Glennon. So again, you're just joining. These are the 5 quarterbacks that the 49ers have brought in for workouts. Kurt Burke, Benkert, AJ McCarron, Garrett Gilbert. Not a fan of Garrett Gilbert. Kevin Hogan I believe, has experience with Kyle Shanahan. Kevin Hogan's a Stanford kid. AJ McCarron, formerly out of Alabama, and then Kirk Banker. I don't know where he played in college, but I do know he was I believe, last with the Green Bay Packers. I believe that's where he was. So Kaepernick quarterback power. Nice. I don't think Kaepernick ran quarterback power with the 49ers. He really didn't. So they didn't really run Cap up the middle. Bring in JT O'Sullivan. So we'll see what the 49ers ultimately land on. In regards to who gets brought in here, I see people saying Cam Newton. I just don't think at this point in Cam's career that it necessarily fits, especially with Jimmy Garoppolo as your starter. So obviously, with Trey Lance in, and Kyle's talked about this in the past, even though, having both Garoppolo and Trey Lance, they have differentiating skill sets, and their offenses are run differently with the two of them. I would imagine, though, with Jimmy as the starter going forward, you're going to want a quarterback who closely resembles what Jimmy's skill set is. And I think that's going to be a pocket passer, a traditional pocket passer. So I do think that, ooh, man, they're trying out hella people. Holy Toledo. Dang, 49ers are active today. They're working out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 players in for a workout today. Shout out Steph Sanchez. She just dropped the entire list. So let me get that pulled up so we can take a look. Steph's on fire, man. Shout out Steph. She was on like KTVU too, freaking yesterday. Dope. Love to see 49ers content creators on the rise. Let's see here. All right. So if you're just joining, we're getting through the news and the notes. We just had a bunch of stuff drop today. So this is the list of the players who are working out today. The name that really jumps out to me that we haven't talked about yet. Kelvin Harmon. I liked him a lot coming out of NC State. Developmental wide receiver in the 6th round in 2019, drafted by the Washington Commanders. Good size, 6'2". I liked his skill set. I had him in a couple dynasty leagues stashed. Really hasn't done a whole lot of anything since 2019. I believe he did tear his ACL his rookie season. Let's see. Yeah, so in 2020, he suffered an ACL injury, and then we just haven't seen him since. But as a rookie, he had 30 receptions for 365 yards. So I wouldn't mind that at all. These other names, not ultra familiar with. Oh, they brought in Jay Sternberger. Oh boy. 49ers are active with this workout. So Sternberger, former Texas A&M, was he third rounder? I feel like he was a third rounder. He was 75th pick overall in 2019. Played with Green Bay, played with Seattle, played with the Washington football team, and most recently the Pittsburgh Steelers. Former first team All SEC in 2018. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that a whole lot at all. So I like some of these names on this list. So it's going to be very interesting. 49ers are clearly shuffling some stuff around. Uh good eye by Justin. No running backs. That's a whole but to be fair, they did work out like 6 running backs last week, so they might already have a good feel for that particular position because they did run a bunch of guys through that situation. So definitely could be that. But to be honest, Jay Sternberger, I wouldn't mind seeing him on the practice squad. Wouldn't mind seeing Kelvin Harmon on the practice squad. Wouldn't mind seeing Mike Glennon on the practice squad. Derek Deese. I actually like Derek Deese as well. I think, and he was he's a rookie still. I like Derek Deese a lot. Derek Deese Jr. Coming out. I remember I was breaking down some tape. I broke down Drake Jackson versus SJSU, and Derek Deese popped in that game for me. Can't tell if I don't remember if he was drafted or not, but I wouldn't mind him either. So we'll see what ultimately plays out, but not a bad list for the San Francisco 49ers as they continue to work out this whole situation. But yeah, lots of movement right now for the 49ers. Whole lot of movement. We'll see what ultimately plays out, who they sign, who they bring in. Yep, saw this. Brad, I want to update my profile pic with the new hat, bro. LOL, smash that like button, SDS. Yeah, I got to get that out to you, my guy. Let's see. All right. Derek Deese Jr., not his dad. So we'll see what ultimately happens, but very active, very, very active. Let's talk a little bit. I think that covers most of the kind of updates that just kind of popped through in regards to the 49ers. Let's see here. Yeah, I think that covered it for the most part. Oh, did you guys see the report that the team that was believed to be trading for Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be the Washington Commanders? Remember our first mock draft that we did in the offseason was trading Jimmy Garoppolo to the Commanders for the number 11th overall pick? That was our very first mock of the year. It does sound like, hey, and, they talk about the surgery. We're not going to speculate and be conspiracy theorists or anything like that. But if I was Jimmy and I was being traded to the Washington Commanders, I would have an ill-advised surgery as well. So hey, I don't blame Jimmy. Not saying that's what happened. Not saying that's we're not speculating that. But if John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan told me, like, you know what? We're going to trade you to the Washington Commanders. I'm like, I just had surgery. Sorry to tell you about that. I would have done the same exact thing. So don't blame him at all. And now look at the San Francisco 49ers needing Jimmy. Unbelievable. What a wild ride. right? And we can transition that right into the conversation if we think this 49ers Super Bowl window is still open. Because I don't know. What do you guys think? If the San Francisco 49ers traded Jimmy Garoppolo to the Washington Commanders, what would they have gotten? Second rounder? Would they have gotten the first? I don't know. But we did see what the Commanders did shell out for Carson Wentz. So maybe they would have got the first rounder. Um, for sure. Uh, what would have that what would that look like? I gotta look. I gotta look. 2022 NFL Draft results. So let's just say they did give up the 11th overall. Was it the 11th? Washington traded out. Washington traded out, and the Saints took Chris Olave at number 11. But there was Jordan Davis, Kyle Hamilton, Kenyon Green, Jahan Dotson, Zion Johnson. Ooh, Zion Johnson would have been nice. Some good players available. So, but that didn't happen. The San Francisco 49ers did not trade Jimmy Garoppolo to the Washington Commanders, and now that ultimately is looking like that's what's going to be saving the San Francisco 49ers Super Bowl hopes and aspirations alive, which is just kind of crazy how this all comes full circle. Because if the 49ers did trade him, they probably would have gotten a good player. They probably would have got someone who could have been an impact potentially. Probably wouldn't have drafted a quarterback with that pick. Would they have drafted a quarterback at all? Probably, just for backup, just like we talked about, insurance purposes with Jimmy Garoppolo. But who would have they taken? Maybe Desmond Ritter in the 3rd round, Sam Howell in the 5th round. Who they grabbed Brock in the 7th. So I still think under the circumstances, if the 49ers traded Jimmy Garoppolo, maybe we wouldn't be talking about a Super Bowl window still being open. So it's just crazy how everything worked out. Trey Lance goes down this year, and now the 49ers are still, in my opinion, have the window wide open. Now, that's going to take a lot of things to fall their way. It's going to take a lot of execution on their end, and it's going to take a lot of luck. They are going to have to stay healthy at key positions. They can deal with bumps and bruises from certain players, but they cannot, we're going to need a Terminator type season out of Jimmy Garoppolo if the San Francisco 49ers really do want to push for one, a playoff appearance, but for a deep playoff run. Jimmy Garoppolo is going to have to turn into a Terminator a little bit, at least for the regular season. We did see some reports today, I think from the SF Chronicle, saying that, hey, Trey Lance might be healed heading into the playoffs. What does that mean? Maybe he could come back this year. I don't know. But we're going to find out. But it's crazy to see how this all just comes full circle, lands on Jimmy Garoppolo, and the San Francisco 49ers now need Jimmy Garoppolo to play a certain brand of football to be able to get back. So thankfully for the 49ers, they have an even better defense than in 2019. Again, the rallying cry all year has been defense. There's going to be instances where the 49ers are going to have to score points. It doesn't matter. We saw the Chiefs and the way they've played early this year. Patrick Mahomes. Like, it doesn't matter how good the defense is going to be. The 49ers are going to have to be able to match teams like Kansas City. Hell, we saw Mike McDaniel and Tua Tagovailoa put up 6 touchdowns on the Ravens, who have a historically good defense. The 49ers, we've seen Justin Herbert, play pretty well. So the 49ers are still going to have to put up points on offense regardless of how good the defense is. So the thing with last week is that everything looked okay for the most part with Jimmy Garoppolo. But towards the end of that game, and they were closing things out, they really, really did not look great. Whether it was, the whole offense as a whole, you had, I think towards the end there, um, I think Jimmy Garoppolo had like 4 or 5 passes in a row that were just really inaccurate. Um, so we need accurate Jimmy. We need efficient Jimmy. We need Jimmy who's not going to put the ball into harm's way. Against the Seahawks, we got a little bit of that. There was one particular throw that was kind of low and away to Ayuk. If it was actually not into the turf, probably would have been an interception. Could have been a pick six. So Jimmy's definitely still not there in regards to having, the ultimate accuracy. And 219 said, "Dude, Jimmy had no camp. Chill. I'm chilling, man. I'm talking about what I saw on tape. Tape doesn't lie. I didn't put any context into anything, but just what I saw on tape, Jimmy Garoppolo still having some accuracy issues. So, is that going to persist? Is that going to maintain? I don't know, but it is just something to watch out for. Because we did get it on tape. He looked good early. The whole offense looked good early, and I'm not saying this is just on Jimmy either. The whole offense as a whole really actually started to teeter at the end of that Seattle game. Um, but it's okay, guys. It's okay. It's okay to be inaccurate. Just like Trey, if Trey wasn't accurate, we wouldn't be freaking out. And just like Jimmy not being accurate, we're not going to be freaking out. Like, it's okay. Let's calm down. We're just going to call it like it is. We're just going to call it like it is. And that's what we saw. That's what the tape showed. But we'll see how it continues to progress. Again, the biggest thing that we need from this offense right now is to be able to run the football, own time of possession, and not turn the ball over. That's the number one. And if the 49ers can do that, play keep away, and you get some dominant performances out of that defense, then the 49ers window to definitely make the playoffs is open. We still got to figure out what these teams are in the NFL. These teams are still trying to figure out who they are. And, there's still a long way. We're really going to start figuring out how the NFL landscape looks week 4, week 5, week 6. It's still a little premature to make any definitive statements on one team one way or the other. So just like the 49ers, we got to wait and see. We got to be patient. We got to see how this offensive line continues to gel. Now what they look like with Jimmy Garoppolo. What does the play calling look like with Jimmy Garoppolo? But we've seen it before. We know what the recipe is. Elite defense, running the football, no turnovers. If we can do that, the San Francisco 49ers absolutely have an opportunity to push for a Super Bowl. So the window is still open, 100%. I really do think so. But the main key factor is health. That's the number one thing. Is this team's got to stay healthy. We understand injuries are going to occur. It's going to happen, but at key positions like the quarterback, we cannot have any other injuries like that. We can work through running backs. We can potentially work through maybe an O lineman getting hurt here or there, but those are really key positions that we got to keep all these guys healthy for sure. So considering those circumstances, I think the 49ers could get it done. Brad, what were the new plays that were called for Jimmy by Kyle on Sunday? Was there like an admission that they called new plays for Jimmy. I didn't really see anything that stood out uh, from a play calling standpoint that looked different. They were still running some zone read concepts, but I didn't see a whole lot that looked totally different. Didn't see a whole lot that was totally different. Still felt like their same offense, still felt like what they were trying to execute. Not a whole lot changed there. We could even bring up the tape if we want, kind of skim through it. Again, the first portion of the day was clearly much better for the offense than the kind of the back end fourth quarter. Let's see here. Share window. Is it not showing? The hell? Let's see. Let's try this. All right, it's not working. Cool. Cool. This guy says, Brad, we've invested in speed. Is our offense going to be limited again? Do you see much impact? I mean, I still think there's going to be some impact in regards to the big plays down the field. I don't think that's going to change. I think it was apparent, at least on what we saw. I can only take the sample size that was provided. And based on what we saw from Jimmy Garoppolo, it still looks like there's going to be um, some limitations with the deep ball. But again, we'll see. We'll see if more reps, more practice changes any of that. It could. It might not. We're gonna find out. We are gonna find out. And for whatever reason, it's not letting me show. So I can't show you, which is unfortunate. Because let's see if I go through my notes. If I go through my notes, you had the deep shot to Ayuk, right? You had two deep shots to Ayuk, both of them underthrown. I couldn't tell if one got kind of died in the air because of the elements and the rain and potentially wind. Looks like it went up and then just kind of died on him. But I still think we're going to see a lot of last year. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of difference. I do like the fact that Jimmy was taking shots. Um, definitely like that he was taking shots downfield and he was able to get some defensive pass interferences out of it. But we'll see how the ball comes out of his hand for him. So it's definitely not going to be the same as with Trey Lance. I don't think we're going to see those deep shots. I mean, we could, but they're going to have to be more. There's going to have to be more timing involved. I think more scheme, dictating open receivers, things like that, like the Dwelly one. The Dwelly one, they blitzed a safety. And with the blitzed safety, it vacated an open area where no one picked up Dwelly. And it was just pitch and catch to Ross Dwelly because they had brought the safety. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see. But I think we know what the book is on Jimmy Garoppolo. I think RG3 said it pretty well. If you heard the soundbite of Steve Young and RG3 talking about it, like Jimmy Garoppolo went out and he looked like Jimmy Garoppolo. I didn't see a whole lot that changed. Um, he's still really quick release. He still has that kind of whip where he can get the ball out really fast in the short to intermediate areas. Um, but uh, when you see him taking shots, the one particular shot that he took to Brandon Ayuk, he didn't really fully step into it. He kind of stepped off to the side, and the thing just kind of died on him a little bit. So we'll see. It's going to be a work in progress, but we've seen them scheme around it before. It's always going to come down to how the run game's working and how they can predicate everything off the run game is really going to be the biggest thing. This thing's really not going to let me show my screen. Son of a bee sting. Well, I guess you guys are going to have to stick around for some of the film breakdowns that I'm going to be putting out. I'm going to do an offensive line one. I'm going to try to get that one up today to kind of showcase what the offensive line did well, where they kind of struggled, what they could do better. But again, mostly highlighting the improvements from week 1 to week 2. Offensive line did pretty damn good. Aaron Banks did really good. Spencer Burford did really good. Spencer Burford is still growing, and there's some polish that he's still going to need, but the baseline traits are there. He's really good. Trent was better this week than he was last week. Definitely still getting used to kind of Trent just not absolutely dominating on every single snap. I think it's just again pointing to how special of a year last year was. Still had a good game from Trent, but just not as physically dominant as we've seen in the past. Mike McGlinchey had a clean game for the most part. Mike McGlinchey absolutely dominated the defensive lineman on the play that Trey got hurt. Just absolutely pancaked him. Really bad. But I've seen the 49ers work through this before. And so there's hope still, right? There's hope. Yeah, it's not going to let me show my screen. Why do I think Trent has regressed slightly? I don't know if it's, offensive linemen can put a lot of pressure on themselves. And you can just kind of do a little too much sometimes. And by doing so, it kind of just puts you out of rhythm. So I don't think it's like a massive regression or anything like that. But he just put up such a special year last year. Like literally, like we're talking about the best year from offensive lineman ever. So that's always going to be hard to duplicate. And it could just be a slow start. It could just be a slow start. Like I said, he got better than he was against Chicago. He was better this week against Seattle, and we'll see how he continues to progress next week. And that's the same for the whole offensive line. The whole offensive line is going to continue to improve. Jake Brendel did show some weaknesses in the armor. He did kind of struggle with some power at times. He made a couple mental mistakes as well that were, from what I've seen from preseason to Chicago, Jake has been pretty good from an assignment sound perspective. And we saw some assignment busts from Jake Brendel against the Seahawks. We had the butt fumble thing. Again, I don't know who's that solely on, but he had some assignment issues. And my goodness, the tight ends were not that great. Outside of Ross Dwelly's scoring, Ross Dwelly had a couple good blocks. Charlie Warner had a couple good blocks, but Tyler Kroft had an awful game, and I don't know if that had to do with the MCL, but he had an absolutely awful game in the run block as a run blocker. He made some poor assignments. He stepping the wrong way, putting himself out of position. Tyler Kroft just really had a bad game. Um, and it, again, just makes me miss George Kittle all that much more. And just how we take him for granted in the run game and what he provides. Uh, it's so easy to just know that George is going to be there and he's going to do his job and he's going to do it the right way and he's going to get to his assignment. He's going to block with the correct leverage and they're going to bounce it right off his hip. When he's not there, it's like, holy crap. Like, it's just a reminder of how valuable George Kittle is on that field, especially in the run game. So I can't wait to get George back. Hopefully, we get George back this year. So we'll see. George Brittle is not accepted around here. So just for that, Mark, I had to put you on a quick timeout. Nothing personal. Nothing personal against you, Mark. But we do not accept the George Brittle nickname around here. You can use that on other platforms if you'd like, but not acceptable around here, just so you know. Just got to keep it a buck with you. So when George Kittle comes back, really looking forward to it. And we need him. If you think we don't, you don't understand Kyle and what he's trying to execute from an offensive standpoint. And my goodness, I say it all the time. Those George Kittle and Kyle Juszczyk are the focal point of the run blocking scheme. And without those guys, it makes it really difficult for them to be successful. So hopefully we get George Kittle back this week. So far, all signs have been pointing in the right direction in that regard. So hopefully we get him back. But the offense, they still got those. Debo looks really good, man. Debo looks good. Debo looks good. Ayuk looks good. Ayuk needs more opportunities. Ayuk needs more opportunities. I really think they need to almost like force feed him the ball in a sense. They just need to get Brandon Ayuk the football and create something for him. So hopefully we see that a little bit more moving forward. Juwan Jennings was pretty good as a blocker, but overall, if I had to grade the offense as a whole, from start to finish with both Trey, with both Jimmy, I'd probably give it like a B. I could argue B minus, considering the mistakes that were made, because I don't think it was a clean game. They dominated the game. They dominated the score. Almost pitched a shut. And I'm talking about the offense. I haven't watched the defense yet. Offensively, I'd probably give it a B, like it maybe like an 83%. And again, considering you had a quarterback change right in the middle, it's not bad, but there's still plenty of room for improvement. They're not perfect yet. There's still room for them to get better, be more efficient, and we expect that will come with reps. Again, Jimmy, no training camp, still coming back from the injury. It's kind of a whirlwind, so we'll see how it continues to progress. So far, it's a great performance. Defense continue to ball, so we're gonna need the defense. And offense going to continue to be a work in progress, continue to gel and do all those good things. So not worried. I think the 49ers are going to do a good job, get everything on track, and just got to stay healthy. They can do that. It's going to be nice. Definitely going to be nice. Any last questions that you guys want to get in here before we head out for today? Like I said, keep an eye out. I'm going to try to drop a couple film breakdowns. Obviously, couldn't pull any of the film up today for whatever reason. So I'm still going to be able to get some film breakdowns. Can we get It's 150 likes before this thing's over. Maybe. We'll see. It's a little early right now for some draft crushes. I've seen a couple guys that have popped, but I'll be honest, haven't been doing a whole lot of draft prep, especially with no first round pick. So definitely be probably pushing that off more towards the end of the year. Are you reviewing defense tomorrow? Yeah, that's the goal. I want to get into the defense tonight. If I can get through the defense tonight, the defense is going to be something that we want to watch because they've been balling. How exciting is the potential of Ward and Huff? I can't wait. They have the potential to be the like top safety tandem in this league right now with how Hufanga's playing. Insane. Absolutely insane. Hufanga's lights out right now. So they could be that for sure. And I agree with 100%. I'm not judging them. I'm just pointing out what I see. You guys know I'm one to always say the first couple weeks of the regular season is preseason for the starters. You got to wait, got to be patient. But we also have to talk about what we did see and be able to identify it and see how they can improve and get better. So I don't think that anything is set in stone at this point with what we've seen from this offense. This offense is going to continue to mature and take steps forward with how they perform. So we're going to see how it all plays out. But soon, all pro Huff. Yeah, feels like it. Feels like it. If he stays on this pace, we'll absolutely be talking about that. But again, shout out to all the SDS for tapping in with me today. Appreciate you guys as always. I'm going to head out of here. Got a lot of film to break down still, but appreciate you guys. I'm out of here for now, and smash that like button on your way out. Peace. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to see it.